What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are going to talk about the defense that we are going to use on the week 2 of Cosmic Crucible, and this is going to be based on what we learned from the first week. What worked, what didn't work, what could possibly work better, and the feedback that we have from multiple sources in order to make sure we have at least for now the best defense that we have available, making sure that also we don't compromise our offense, right? Because you don't want to turtle so much to the point where you don't have enough teams to attack, especially if you are not a whale or a kraken that has all the teams maxed out, right? So you want to make sure that the teams that we are using on defense and on offense are well balanced and that are within the meta that we have for Marvel Strike Force in this month, and therefore you are not compromising anything. So we're going to break down all the information that you need to know in order for you to invest and put these characters together if you want. And as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the rooms once again. Field Medic. In this room, if a character has vulnerability, on this turn, this character is going to heal up for 20% for each vulnerability that character has. If the character has vulnerability, then 25% minus resistance. This is pretty much insignificant. In this room, you want to use beefy teams. Beefy teams because that means they can take those vulnerabilities in the face. They are not going to die, and whenever they have the turn, they are going to heal for a bunch. So you want to make sure that you use a beefy team or a team that has survivability through barrier or death proofs, because that also increases the pool of health and the possibilities you have for getting damage in the face. So like I said last week, you could use some Infinity Watch here or some of the raid teams here, but one thing that I think is going to be very strong, and the team that I'm going to use is going to be Unlimited with Wolverine. Why is Wolverine here? Well, Wolverine, all of them are X-Men for sure. The Unlimited X-Men, they have a Safeguard on spawn, they have Defense Up on spawn, they have Drain, but they don't have a lot of healing. They have some barrier from Dazzler, but beyond that, the sustainability of this team is not that great. But they have a lot of health, right? And this is where the room rules come into play, because the room rules are going to cover one of the flaws of this team. Now, most of them are Unlimited X-Men, Wolverine is Uncanny X-Men, but Gambit now he gives buffs to all X-Men, and on top of that, Sunfire and Wolverine, now they're also Alpha Flight, and they just got their stats reworked, so they are up to the meta as much as possible, and you have to gear them up for the Spotlight raids and also for Alliance Wars defense. So this is definitely characters that you want to invest in, and for sure you can put them together in this specific room. Now we're going to take a look at Blood Transfusion, room number 2. On turn, characters are going to gain bleed, and if a character has bleed, he's going to get 5% extra damage for each bleed that he has. And he's also going to get a defense up if he has bleed. So, as I mentioned before, we want to have characters here that apply a lot of bleeds. Last week we used Secret Defenders here, but Secret Defenders here, they don't do much. It's whatever, right? They have been part of the meta for a while, but they are reaching their limit of utility on defense. So what I decided to do was to mix up things, and I went with Mercs for Money with Secret Defenders. So we are going to use Hard Light to protect Old Man Logan from Apocalypse, because this is one of the easiest ways to beat Old Man Logan, is just to use Apocalypse against him. So we're going to use Hard Light to protect Old Man Logan. Then we have Pandapool and Deadpool together with Old Man Logan. This is going to make sure that Pandapool and Deadpool are going to revive all the time and be very annoying for your enemies. And finally we have Cosmic Ghost Rider, not Cosmic Ghost Rider, the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, because every time the enemies gain bleed, is going to get a speed bar. The characters we have from the Mercs for Money, they also apply bleeds all the time. Old Man Logan, every time he assists, he's going to apply bleeds as well if they have the claws out. And Hard Light, she's also a mutant, and she's also going to give buffs to the characters, barrier, healing, and so on. So this is a great combination of characters to put together. And they are part of the Alliance Wars meta. This is absolutely the apex team in Alliance Wars meta. so you want to gear them up for sure. And this is some extra value that you're getting on them outside of Alliance Wars together with the Secret Defenders. Now, we have the double tap room. This double tap room is a room where if the enemies have exposed, you're going to do one additional attack against them. So it's like you have all characters as a striker as long as they're attacking the enemies with expose. There are only 3 characters that apply expose for now, and for the near future I don't expect this month to have another character that applies exposed, but maybe next month we'll see about that, if it's going to be the case or not. If the characters have exposed, they also have 20% less resistance. This is not a big deal. And the same way that last season we used Extreme X-Men, this week we are also going to use Extreme X-Men. This time is, instead of having Gambit or Dormammu, we're going to use Phoenix, and the reason why, it's because she's going to give multiple turns for Forge and for Cyclops. He's going to get offense up, so his ultimate is going to be more powerful. Most of these characters are part of the raid meta. They're also very strong in Alliance Wars defense. Phoenix and Cyclops, it's up to you to decide if it's going to be worth the investment or not. For me it made sense. For you, maybe some other characters are going to be preferable. Maybe you even want to use Super Scroll here. It's something that you have to decide on your own, as this room is not very interesting and most people are actually ignoring this room and just putting Infinity Watch there. Now let's take a look at room number 4. Room number 4 is the one where you clear all negative effects on your turn, and whenever your turn ends you get a defense down, offense down, slow and disrupt. This room can be quite problematic. Many teams suffer from this room, so be very careful with it. And on offense, if you guys watched my videos last week, we were able to benefit out of this room, but not all teams can do that. Now, I put on defense once again Infinity Watch with Quicksilver. Other options that you could use here is Spider Society with Dormammu or with Quicksilver or with some other character that you prefer. As long as it's a team that can withstand negative effects or that can clear those negative effects away, this room is fine, but be careful because some people are losing matches on this room because they forget that the negative effects also affect their characters, especially the slow. The slow is very important here. The slow really kills a lot of characters that usually are very powerful, but as soon as they take their turn, then they have the slow and then they cannot take their second turn. So watch out for this room as it can be quite problematic. Now we have room number 5. I will be back. In this room the villain characters are going to gain revive, and I'm going with the same team I went last week with Superior 6 plus Mysterio and Black Knight. Last week I used the Rhino here, then I switched to Mysterio. It's up to you to decide, it doesn't really matter the last character. The benefit of Mysterio here is that he's going to allow Green Goblin to turn rewind the enemies for much more, and maybe it will bait someone to use Hive Mind, and then they will lose because you use Black Knight, and Black Knight will destroy Hive Mind completely. So this is something that is sort of a bait against your enemies. And once again, with Mysterio, your characters cannot gain immunity, and you also turn rewind your opponents for much more. So this might be preferable over the other version with Rhino, which the Rhino version is still fine because we have defense up and counters and so on. And then for the last room, Supercharged. In this room, the ultimate abilities cost 2 less, and every time you use the ultimate ability, you spread positive effects. And here I'm going to use the Spider Society. Spider Society was the menace of last week Cosmic Crucible Season 8. A lot of people struggling against them, and you're going to use them together with Dormammu, and the position for these characters is very important as you want to speed up the slowest characters on the team, which is going to be Penny Parker and Dormammu. And Ghost Spider, she's slower than them, but you don't want her to go before any of them because she's going to spread those negative effects, and that's going to be very helpful. This room, if you think about it, it kind of works like the raid room because it allows Spider Society to use their ultimates right away. I have seen a few different combos here. For example, Superior 6 on room 6 is also very powerful. but the Spider Society does not benefit as much on room 5, and this is why sometimes, even that the team is very strong on a room, you rather put them on the other room to maximize the value across the board. So this is going to be the defense that I'm going to use for the second week of Cosmic Crucible based on my experience, but also on the experience of other top players. And also, on top of that, most important, characters that are important for you to invest for the current meta of the game. Once again, we have raid characters for the incursion, we have raid characters for the spotlight raids, alpha flight raids. Then we also have a very powerful Alliance Wars characters with the Mercs for Mining, with Superior 6 and so on. So overall, I think this is going to be one of the best defenses that you can use without compromising what you have on offense. If you are interested on knowing the best counters for this season, you can find my link in the description of the video for my Patreon, where I weekly post the best counters of the week and make a full spreadsheet of what teams to use, but also with the expectation of what RNG you are going to face, which points you can expect to obtain by using that team, and if this team works on a punch down or punch up, and on specific teams it also has an additional level of which ability to use first in order for you to win right away, right? So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.